Hi, I'm Reverend Tony, and I have a spiritual challenge for you for the month of April on the theme of awakening. My congregation is working with the theme of awakening for the month of April. And my spiritual challenge to them and to you, should you choose to accept it, is to watch the world wake up every day for a month. In order to do this, pick a location. The location does not have to be spectacular, but it does need to be outside. It might be the view from outside your bedroom window or kitchen window, or the view from your porch or front door or back door. It might be your yard as you get into the car to go to work every day. It might be a place right down the street from you that you pass nearly every day walking the dog. The more ordinary, in a sense, the better, but it must be outside. We are in the month of April. It's spring in the northern hemisphere, and the natural world is coming back to life, waking up. It happens right before our eyes, and yet most of us don't pay a lot of attention to it each year when this happens, this miracle of spring. So my challenge to you is pay attention to it. Awakening is often about mindfulness. The more we mindfully pay attention to what's going on within us and around us, the more sense of awakening we have. Now, the natural world will be waking up. It may happen quickly, it may happen slowly. The weather may be cold for April, or extra warm for April, or dry for April, or rainy for April, or some combination of all of it. If you observe the same general spot at the same general time of day, you will notice the world changing. You don't need to observe for very long. A few seconds, a minute is plenty. And if you're going to use a camera or a smartphone to take a photo of the view you're observing, you could just take it in a second and look at it later, or look at the week's worth of images later, and then pay attention to them. You may also want to take notes on what you see. How does it strike you? How does it make you feel? What emotion does it evoke? Are there scents or sounds that go with it? Are you noticing grass, a plant, vegetables, a garden, flowers, trees, leaves? What about animals, insects, birds, squirrels, rabbits? What do you see in this one little place you observe attentively every day about the same time of day for a month? At the end of the month, if you've collected notes in a notebook or a file, and you've collected photographs or images, you will have quite a record of what's happened. Something that you may have missed had you just walked by it, gone by that window, ran out that door, whisked past that spot in your neighborhood. But this challenge has you specifically paying closer attention. The last time I did this exercise, it was not watching spring happen, watching the world wake up. It was just paying attention to the same location at the same time of day for a month. And I did it in January of 2018, January 1st, January 31st, 2018, about 8 a.m.-ish, looking outside my kitchen window as I made coffee in the morning. As you can see, I did not take the photograph every single day of the month. I got about 20 days of the month in there, and I took out a couple of images for the days that were really, really similar to the day immediately before or after, so it wouldn't be the whole month here, but I think you get the idea. As you can see, it's nothing all that spectacular, but you do notice how the natural world changes and wakes up. Frequently, we don't pay attention to the minute details. We walk right by them. In general, we may notice, oh, the leaves are back on the trees, or the plants getting ready for the garden have sprouted in their little seedlings. But it's not something that stops us. And the whole point of this is to be aware enough that it stops you a little bit, wakes you up to the world waking up. I have a feeling that if you undertake this challenge, watching this awakening will spur an awakening in you. In my work as a spiritual director, I often encounter the reality that people think spiritual awakening is a monumentous, earth-shattering event, like someone watching a bush catch on fire and the voice of God coming out of it. And yet for most of us, awakening does not happen like that. Sometimes it's a number of little realizations or observances that crystallize into a new awareness. In recent years, many white people have been waking up, hence the term woke, waking up to the realities of racism and white supremacy culture in our culture and our country's history. It can be devastating to finally realize that, to, for the first time, see things you now can't unsee, learn things you can't unlearn, notice things you can't unnotice. We can do that with other things. We can do it with ourselves, with other people with whom we're in relationship, at our jobs. We can do it with the natural world. And since our theme at church is awakening for April, and Earth Day is celebrated in April, and spring is going on in the Northern Hemisphere, what a great time to really dive into the natural world that is quite literally, for most of us, right outside our window or right outside our door. Whether you live in an urban area or a suburban area or really out in the country, there's a little natural world outside your window and outside your door. It may be a patch of grass and a tree and the sidewalk in the city, but it will come alive again in a new way over the next few weeks. Pay attention to it. If you're really out in a rural area where you've got a lot of natural world around you, a lot of grass, plants, flowers, trees, animals, you may have a lot more to choose from in terms of what your scene is you're going to observe each day. I'd be really interested in hearing what you've observed or seen your images at the end of the month. So please be in touch and let me know how this challenge went for you and what you thought of it. Thanks for watching this video on this month's spiritual challenge. I'd really appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up, like it, share it with others, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when I make more videos like this. And leave me a comment. I would love to know what you think of this spiritual challenge and this video. Until next month, go in peace.